Oops, I forgot to tell you I'm coming live. But here I am. Welcome to This is Private Practice. It is Wednesday. Is it Wednesday?
Yes.
Oh, good. It's Wednesday. Oh, no wonder. It's hump day, and I've had a humpy head day. Like, seriously, I have felt like I'm still asleep. If you saw my post on Facebook earlier this morning, you would have seen that I likened myself to a sleeping lion. Hello, Carol Rose. I'm glad you turned up. Somebody turned up. It's been an intense day of emotions for me today, and I think we all know how Jo goes with her emotions. Oh, awesome. And Carol's the only person who's turned up. Fabulous. This might be a therapy session for me. No, we're not going to do that. But I think it's incredibly important for us as people who work with people that we recognize that we have a physical load in our day, we have a cognitive load in our day, and we have an emotional load in our day. And this is something that I have been working with a lot on with my clients. And I've had the discussion twice today. And it comes up a lot, especially with people trying to manage a fatigue condition, is they don't recognize the fatigue that comes from our emotional load. So some people call it compassion fatigue. Some people call it social fatigue. I'm just going to put it under this blanket of emotions. So I don't know if you've ever noticed that after you've had a really, really good belly laugh, you might feel high or energized, or you might feel like you've done a big workout and like, oh, I'm calm because there's happy hormones and you've given your belly a good workout. Sometimes it can happen after a really big cry. Sometimes it can happen after you get really angry. We actually have these physical sensations in our body. So it's no wonder that we end up feeling fatigued from big emotional output. So for me today, I had to manage my emotions around telling a client that work was not a good solution for her. Now, I can assure you, I do not have this conversation very often. I think it's the second time in my 20-year career where I have had to make a judgment call based on somebody's health condition that going to work could essentially kill her. I'm not being dramatic. That is the very condensed version. I don't want to get into that. But for me, that was a very emotionally charged discussion. It was emotionally charged for her because she was confronted with her mortality. And it was emotionally charged for me because I don't like telling people that work isn't a good fit for them. We both got a bit teary with each other, I won't lie. But it was not inappropriate, and it actually allowed the conversation to open up and allowed me to be able to talk into her perceptions of grief and her experience of loss. So right now, I am incredibly grateful for the work of Jill Johnson Young because I was able to prepare her for what could potentially happen now and a little bit into the future. Can't future pace her too far. She's just had this shock about what could happen for her and her emotions, given she's just been told that this career that she has had for such a really long time is not something she'll be going back to. And work is potentially not something she should consider going back into as well. It's a tough conversation, Jill. It really was. And I got myself quite anxious about it. There was a lot of energy output for me and my emotions around managing myself on making sure I turned up prepared, making sure that I facilitated the conversation well, making sure that I didn't turn up inappropriately. Have you ever noticed how much time and energy we spend making sure we're in check with ourselves? That takes a lot of energy. Just letting you know. This is why the whole discussion about leaving garbage, like leaving what happened at home at the door. That's all well and good in theory, but we're humans and we bring stuff. We learn to compartmentalize, we learn to shut down our feelings. But if we, as the health professionals, don't continue to acknowledge that those feelings are real, acknowledge that that was really hard. Like I talked into a situation last week where I had a client tell me a story that horrified me. Well, I've now just had to inform his insurance company about some of those details, which was great, but I was not comfortable in having to relay some of that and wasn't comfortable with having to tell an insurance company some information that's really quite intimate and private and not very nice. Fortunately, I have such a good relationship with this referral source that they were able to see the information and how hard I was working at being able to present that. I also worked with a gorgeous client today who I'm incredibly proud of because she's come to me and asked me for help. She knows that she's incredibly capable. She's incredibly competent. And for those of us who are highly ambitious and overachieving, competence can be our curse because nobody can do it quite as well as what we can. Have you ever noticed? But she let me talk through with her, or actually I asked her questions and she spoke. And we were able to uncover some of her discomfort around why she's saying yes to so much more. Yes, when she feels like she can say no, but it's those maybes, the things that she could say yes or no to that got her tripped up. So we've now created the not yet list, or the not yet bucket. So if she doesn't want to say yes immediately, and really there's no more that can be crammed into this lady's diary, and she doesn't want to say no forever, then we now have a third alternative, which is the not yet. I love this concept of not yet, because for those of us who are good at making decisions on the run, I am a first-time convincer. It doesn't take me long to buy anything. Don't you all start selling at me now, people. I've got strategies in place. But if I like the sound of something, if it piques my interest, if it can help me use my time, energy, and money more effectively, chances are I am there. Although the screen doors did get fitted today. I mean, we got measured for those today, but that's okay. So it's easy for me to say yes. It is much easier for me to say yes than it is to say no. I am much more practiced at saying yes. I'm a fairly compliant person. I don't like getting it wrong. I like feeling like I'm a good girl. So I say yes a lot. And I know I'm not alone. And I know some of you watching this are going to find this a little uncomfortable. It's okay. So if yes and no is too difficult, how about we create the not yet? Not yet buys us time. And if we are time poor because we are doing a lot, because we're ambitious, because we're high achievers, because we've got a message we need to get out, people we need to serve, then how about we create some space and some time by creating a not yet bucket? Because what I have found with a lot of my practice coaching clients is when we create this not yet list, or this to do at a future date list, by the time we review it every 3 months or so, a lot of those things can come off because they felt like a good idea in the moment, but they're not a good idea now. Thank you, Jill. I really like it as well. You don't realize that you actually have a not yet list. I've been keeping your not yet list, but you never come back to it. So yay, there are some awesome things about people who can't remember, like you and me. And I write things down. That's awesome. So if you're looking for a specific strategy to help you with your emotional load, I want you to think about not yet. Say yes to the things you know you can commit to. That means you know you've got the time, the energy, the resources to say yes. I can follow through with this. I can be consistent with this. Say no to the things that don't make you feel good. I don't want to do that. I shouldn't, no shoulds. I don't want to do that. That is not a good fit for me. My favorite line is, oh, hell no, you do not want me doing that. I've got other people in my world who are better than that, better at me than that. Anything to do with spell checking should not be done by Joe. Just putting it out there. You all know that. You read my posts and you let me get away with all the typos in there. Thank you so much. So we have a yes, we have a no, and now we're going to create a not yet bucket. So post-it notes on your screen. Maybe a journal that says not yet on the front, maybe sticky notes everywhere, post-it notes, sticky notes, maybe an actual physical bucket that says not yet, and you can throw the ideas in there. You need the behavioral prompt. If you think you're going to remember this, I can assure you you won't, because we're awesome at forgetting stuff. We're awesome at forgetting awesome stuff. So create a physical prompt for yourself. Stick it on your desk, put it in your car, stick it in your handbag, wherever. The mirror. How many times do we look at a mirror a day? Whiteboards, not yet. There you go. Something I have learned and implemented today. Didn't quite realize that's what I was going to talk about, but that is pretty cool. So we've made it to Wednesday. Hurrah, all the Australians and those of us in the Southern Hemisphere. We've got halfway through the week. The weekend is on its way. Woohoo. Another big day of delivery. I get to hang out with my Accelerate Your Practice superstars in the morning, in my morning. They're afternoons, I think, which is awesomely cool. I am really looking forward to that and finding out how everybody's going, because we've got some amazing writing opportunities coming up for people. We've got incredible speaking opportunities coming up for people, and I may have found a way to help people with their publishing of their authoring. So that's pretty cool as well. So a little bit of investigation into that. Anyway, looking forward to connecting with you again tomorrow. It is going to be another big day for me, but that's what we do around here, isn't it? That's what it takes to build a successful, profitable private practice. So go be your awesome self and check back in with me tomorrow.